If you give them options to do something differently and they just won't accept it, just accept that, because not everybody is willing to change. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Miri. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I want to talk about how to protect your energy if you might be an empath or a highly sensitive person and you're just accepting and taking all the energy of other people into you, and especially negative emotions. It's hard to get rid of, and I have a couple of tips that I want to share with you today. First and foremost, I want to say that obviously it's totally normal to have a bad day, to be negative sometimes. We can't be positive all the time, and that is totally okay. This video is more for how to deal with people that are constantly negative, that are constantly toxic, and you're feeling drained by them. And of course, it can happen that you're meeting up with a friend who's not all the time negative, but just had a really shitty day and just want to get rid of something. And even then, you can use some of these tips to be more grounded with yourself and not take the emotions back home. First thing I'm going to talk about is to set healthy limits and boundaries. And that, I mean, ahead of time. So if you know you're meeting up with a person and you know that person tends to be an energy drainer, energy vampire, like I like to call them, set boundaries in the beginning, meaning you could say something like, I'm here for you, but I only have half an hour for you today, or I need to leave at this and this time, because then you have reassurance that you don't have to be there for hours letting the energy drain you, and you can really clearly communicate how much availability and how much you can offer to that person. The next one is pretty obvious if you watched my videos beforehand. You know how much I love affirmations, and you can help yourself ground yourself with affirmations as well. Something like, I am safe in my body. It is not my responsibility to make other people feel better. It is not my responsibility to change other people. Something like that just really helps if you set the intention ahead of time and being aware of that you have control over your own life only. And if other people are dragging on and keep like being negative and draining your energy, just know you're there to help. You're helping them by listening to them, but also setting the boundary for yourself and saying, okay, I can take control over my life. And if you give them options to do something differently and they just won't accept it, just accept that, because not everybody is willing to change. Some people really like to be in that negative spiral all the time because they're so used to it and it gives them some kind of comfort, and they just don't want to break out of that. And that is okay. You just have to decide for yourself that it is not your responsibility to fix that person. What you can do beforehand as well is deep breathing and meditating. Again, bring yourself into a state of calm and present, to be present in that moment. And it overlaps a little bit with the other things I've said, but just know that it's not your job to fix the other person. Meditate, breathe, and if you feel in that conversation you're feeling dragged down and you already feel the negativity, remind yourself of that, or take some deep breaths while you're there and just try to calm your nervous system down. I know it is super hard, but with a lot of repetition and doing it over and over again, you can really achieve good things with that. I have found visualization such a great tool for toxic negative people as well. If you're dealing with somebody who's just like really angry and you feel the energy just kind of getting into your body and feeling not well anymore, really imagine an imaginary shield in front of you that shields you, protects you from that person's energy. Like everything that they project to you is just going back right to them. And the truth is, a lot of the negativity, and if people are getting angry and mad, it's not about you, it's about them. And it is hard, obviously, but just try not to take it personally. Try to really think that they're really unhappy with what they're going through life right now, that they're really not the best version of themselves right now. And just really imagine that you have that protective shield in front of you. What I like to do personally after I feel like my energy is drained, and that doesn't have to come from a specific person. Sometimes it's just you're in a really busy work environment and you feel like the stress of everybody, right? It doesn't need to be a huge conflict all the time. I live close to New York City. New York City is super stressful, and sometimes when you have to like walk one block to the other, there's so many people, there's so many emotions, there's so many energies, and if you're prone to like take that all in, it's gonna be a lot. So make sure when you come home, do a little aura brush. Either if you have a crystal, selenite is really good for that. You can use that. Or what really helps me calm down and center myself is taking a shower or a bath. Water is super, super cleansing. So just spending time in the shower and really thinking of washing off all that energy, all that draining, all that negativity is really, really helpful. Along with that, if you have the option of living in nature, ground yourself barefoot in the grass, or if you have a natural body of water, lake, ocean, waterfall, anything like that, make sure to spend some time in nature. It really can do a lot. Waterfalls, for example, have negative ions, and they are known to reduce anxiety and feeling stressed, and everything in nature has negative ions, and especially bodies of water. So if you have the luxury to have any of these things around you, I would highly recommend doing that because it's really so cleansing and helpful for your body and mind. If you have crystals at home, a really great one to use to protect yourself from negative energy and actually transmute negative energy into positive energy is smoky quartz. You can either carry that around with you if you feel the draining energy of other people or things around you, or you can wear it as a bracelet. Bracelets are usually a really good tool to have on you because they're not so obvious and you don't have to carry a rock around with you. But if you have that bracelet, make sure to wear it on your right wrist. So in spiritual practices, usually we say that the left hand is for receiving energy and the right hand is for giving energy out and kind of protecting yourself and others around you. If you don't have smoky quartz, a lot of other good crystals are black tourmaline or obsidian, shungite, all of like in the color spectrum of brown to black crystals. They're really protective and they should help you with that. And then last but not least, and I think the most obvious but very hard to do sometimes, is just saying no. If you feel like you don't have the capacity to deal with this other person, if you don't feel like you have the capacity to be drained by that person, just say no, and with no explanation. No by itself is a complete sentence. Leave it at that and just say no. I don't have the capacity. No, it's not working out right now. No, I don't have time. And it might feel hard in the beginning, but I know from my own experience, the first time you're setting a boundary, it feels like life-changing. Oh my God, what did I just do? Are they gonna be mad at me? Or what are they thinking about me now? Like, am I a bad friend for not being there for them? But just saying no one time just sets your boundaries, and then other people can respect it more. If you're always saying yes to things and like, yeah, okay, sure, just let me know what's going on. Maybe internally you want to say no, but you're already committed to that friend, that person, to have an open ear, open mind for them. So if it doesn't feel right, just say no and stick with it. Maybe one other personal thing from my life that has helped me right now with voice messages, like, I don't know if you've WhatsApp or Telegram or any kind of app that you can send voice messages. We're not even asking the person if she's in a place to listen to this right now, because you click on the button and you're like, oh, a message from my friend. And then it's all that emotional charge and whatever that just gets dumped on you pretty much. Because that person, voice messages for me are like more, you're talking to yourself while you're recording it for somebody else, but you kind of expect an answer about your problems. So what I chose to do for myself now is, if I feel like really ranty and I have to vent, I message the person ahead of time, or I let them know in my voice message and saying like, hey, I don't know if you have the capacity for this right now. I really just need to vent right now. I don't need advice. I don't need any kind of uplifting words. I just want to let it go. If you can listen to it, please listen to it. If not, just ignore my message. And I think you can do that in person too. Like when you are with a friend that drains you, or if you're that friend that needs to just let things go, be like, hey, are you in a position right now mentally and physically and just emotionally to listen to me? I would love your advice. I would love your expertise. I would love just your honest opinion. And I think with this forewarning, I don't know if that's the right word to say, but yeah, with kind of letting them know ahead of time, they know what's coming, and then they can decide to give them an option if they're in the right place, because not everybody is, and everybody's dealing obviously with their own stuff all the time, and we're not always talking about it. So I think that's a really, really, really important topic, and a thing that I really wanted to mention. What are some things that you protect your energy with? How do you deal with negative people, negative surroundings, toxic people? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments. I will see you in the next video next week, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Love you all. Bye.